Have you made your film to enter into the first annual Intergalactic Imagination Connoisseurs Film Festival? You have until December 1st to enter. Entries are coming in almost every day now. Join the fun. Make a movie. You've always wanted to. Why not make one now? I'm very excited to talk about this movie.
Me too.
This movie is... it doesn't get much better as far as scary movies go.
I mean, I'd have to say this is one of the scariest movies. I freak out every time.
You freak out every time. It's true.
Every
You freak out every
single
time I
time.
watch this movie.
And I even trepidatiously go in when we're about to watch it. I'm like, I don't know. Do I want to see this again?
Yes.
It
Yes, you
scares
do.
me that much.
Yes, you do want to see this again.
Yet I love it.
Because it's great. I mean, it defines what indie horror can be.
Yes.
Well, greetings, Imagination Connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, and your sommelier of cinema, Robert Meyer Burnett. But it wouldn't be whining about movies if it wasn't with this beautiful lady right here, the woman whose show this is named after. Who are you?
I am Elizabeth Gwendolyn Bell. I am the ace, the arbiter of cinematic excellence, and the enchantress of entertainment.
The Enchantress of Entertainment, and our Halloween extravaganza continues with one of our personal favorite
Yes.
low-budget film. I mean, I say low-budget. This movie is so well directed, so well scripted. It's less than 90 minutes, and it just goes for the jugular. It moves like a freight train, and it never lets up.
I mean, it's like a slow build.
Yeah, but
And then once you get to the middle, then it's like...
Well, I don't mean like slow build. I mean, it's constantly interesting. I mean, the movie opens with a mass murder or something.
Yes.
With cops and a murder. Yeah, let's drink. Let's drink first.
With the wine.
Let's drink. What?
After all, this is whining about
It is whining about movies, so we're going to get liquored up, bruh.
You want to change the camera angle?
Oh, should I change it? Yes. Why, yes. It is your show. You should be directing. Well, greetings, Imagination Connoisseurs. And where were we? What do we got? It's French. You can say...
It's not French.
It isn't?
It's a Spanish wine.
Oh. La Sonriente? La Sonriente? There you go. It's a Spanish wine. What do I know? Not much, apparently. Can you read that?
It's a Grenache.
Oh, it is a Grenache.
Yeah.
Wow, how exciting. It's a Grenache. I guess that is Spanish for awesome. So here is...
That's a healthy pour.
Is that a healthy pour for you? Oh, less for me. I don't know. I'll get it back in the end anyway. Well, let's try this. First of all, I got a drink to... Now, I'm not... For all of you, all of my Scandinavian brothers and sisters and kind people that however you identify in Norway, the director of this movie, André Øvredal? Øvredal? I can't... It's got some umlaut crossed thing in the... Oh, I don't know.
I'd have to see it. Where is it?
Let's just say André. André is one talented man, and I'm going to drink to him and this movie. And let's hear it for screenwriters Ian Goldberg and Richard Nang, because this is what horror is all about, ladies and gentlemen. So let's drink to...
And the acting was really good, too.
And Emil Hirsch and Brian Cox.
Yeah.
And shout out, can you imagine being an actress going, Mom, I got my first role in a movie. Well, really? Great. What are you doing? I'm playing a naked corpse where I am completely naked the entire duration of this film. And by the way, her acting as a dead girl, stellar.
So good.
So good. Let's drink this.
Wow.
Okay. That is a tasty Grenache.
Yummy Spanish wine.
Yummy Spanish. You know what? I've always been a fan. I'm just a fan of Spain in general.
I've never been to Spain.
You know, well, I'll tell you right now, my favorite film festival in all the world is going on. The Sitges Film Festival.
It's on?
It's going on now.
It's actually on?
It starts... Well, I mean, I guess it's half virtual and half...
Oh, okay.
Here's to Angel Sala and to everybody at Sitges. I wish I could be there with you. The last time I was there was 9 years ago in 2011, and boy, it's been too long. But this is the kind of movie... I wish I had seen this movie at Sitges. This debuted at the Toronto Film Festival.
Did it?
It did. So, why don't you, without... I mean,
we can kind of get into
why don't you just lay out what is this glorious goodness actually about?
Yeah, okay. So, this is one of my favorite horror films, and I dread it and love it all at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's funny when you were excited to watch it, and then we put it on like 10 minutes in.
I'm like, oh my god, I forgot how scary this is.
As soon as the
This is
sheriff
so
shows
scary.
up, it is so. This movie is unbelievably well directed. I would love to know. I mean, on my Blu-ray, I don't know if there's special features. I mean,
Oh.
yeah. I mean, we should.
Well, yeah, we watched it streaming this
Yeah,
time.
we watched.
We should dig it up.
Too
and
lazy
really,
to go get it right here.
No, it'd be really great to see the special features.
Yeah, I mean, this film is beautifully directed.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of creating tension and creating atmosphere, everything you want out of a horror film.
Yes.
I think this movie delivers. I mean, I don't mean to oversell it because certain things scare people, certain things don't. And whenever you tell people, "Oh, this movie's really good," this movie really is good.
Well, everyone I've recommended it to thinks after they see it that it's a really great movie.
Oh, it's great. This movie is a stone cold bona fide classic.
But if you don't like horror, please do not watch this because this is like a really scary
And I have to
movie.
say, one of my favorite things about this movie is it is the collision of science and the supernatural.
Right.
And what I love is that the supernatural trumps science. I mean, you know, there are, and I think that I'm attracted to movies about science and the supernatural. One of my favorites after this, John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. You know, it deals with quantum physics and the devil in the details.
Is that the one with the devil in the church?
Yes. Yeah, hey, you remembered.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the mirror. And
then yes,
yeah, okay.
yes. And Lisa Blount and her bodacious tatas from Officer and a Gentleman. Yes. Let's drink to Lisa Blount. She died young. She won an Academy Award making a short film, by the way. Dead and Buried is a movie that she's in where she displays her bodacious tatas. So that could be another film that people should watch. Dan O'Bannon.
seen it.
Well, I would you be surprised to know that I have it on Blu-ray, but it's coming out in 4K.
I don't believe it.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's get back to the autopsy of Jane Doe.
Let's.
What did set
Okay.
set the scene, Ace?
Yeah, okay. So it starts off as a murder mystery. I mean, it starts off with a scene of a murder in this house. It's brutal. Brutal. There are like dead bodies, blood strewn all over the walls.
And it's got a little David Fincher 7 vibe.
Yes,
to it, where the way they're going through the murder
absolutely.
scene.
They're like going through the house. The cops are going through the house.
Beautiful
the detective-
widescreen photography. Whew.
And he's looking at what's happening in the house and the murders. And then one of his cops calls him. It's like, you better come and see this. And they go down into the basement, and there's blood splattered all over the walls. And they found a body under the ground that they dug up. And she's half exposed, and it's this alabaster girl.
Shouts out to Olwen Kelly as Jane Doe. Olwen Kelly. Sounds like a nice Irish girl. Looks like she might have,
She's beautiful.
She's absolutely beautiful, and I just can
I'd love
imagine.
to see her as not a corpse.
Right.
I'm gonna look her up.
I just wish I could have been on the other end of the phone when she tells her mother, probably a nice Irish Catholic girl, "Mom, I still can't get over that."
Yeah, she's a beautiful girl, and she's the corpse, and so.
And I have to say,
and they don't know how she got there because it's not like the other murders that are upstairs.
no, and her body is completely untouched.
Yeah.
She's clearly dead,
Yeah.
but completely untouched.
Yeah, so they take her to the local coroner morgue.
Right, but before you get there, so
Yeah.
while this murder mystery is unfolding, we meet our protagonists.
Yes.
We meet the Tilden, the father and son.
Father and son, and
Emil Hirsch's Austin Tilden.
They live in this cool little Victorian farmhouse.
Yeah, and it's the great Brian Cox, who played the original Hannibal Lecter in Michael Mann's Manhunter.
Right.
And he was also Stryker in X-Men 2.
Yeah.
And then he was in The Ring. I mean, he's in Succession now on HBO. The guy never has given a bad performance.
Yeah, his acting is so good.
And we get to meet Emil Hirsch and Brian Cox as the Tildens.
Yes.
And their father and son, and he's the coroner, and his son
his son helps him.
is a medical examiner.
And their lab and stuff, the morgue, is in their basement.
Yeah, they're the third generation of, and they've built it out, and it's kind of this labyrinthian basement.
Yeah.
It's under the house. You have to take an elevator to get
house.
there.
It's very old style. I mean, it looks amazing. I mean, it looks so authentic.
And what I love about it, now I don't know if this was a writing thing. Another thing about the scripting is that coming up with this milieu.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that they came up with the idea that there is this labyrinthian underground medical exam, the coroner's offices, they couldn't have come up, but you still buy it. I mean, it's definitely, unless it's based on a real...
It's unusual that you would have that in your house.
And you get to see him deal with this a burn victim.
Yes.
Who was actually poisoned, or he hit his head. He slipped and hit his head.
So when you meet them, yes, that's what they're doing. They're doing an autopsy on a burnt corpse.
Quick editing, but it makes you you love the two of them.
And
they're expert
at that
at
point,
what they do.
It's very CSI. It's very cool. Like you think oh, this is like an episode of CSI because they're like dissecting and looking at everything and trying to, he's teaching his son how did this person die. And so, they have this conversation about how the person died. And so I thought that was really cool. And then, so they're done with that body, and the son is going to go on a date with his girlfriend.
And his girlfriend shows up. His girlfriend, played by Ophelia, this is her real name, Ophelia Lovabond, as Emma, his girlfriend. Beautiful girl, comes down, and she
sneaks up on him. And it's a jump scare, and it freaks me out.
It's the first jump scare, and it's a good jump scare.
It's so good. So she comes down. She had never been down into the morgue, and she surprises him, and
she wants to see a dead body.
She wants to see a dead body, and he's like, "Oh, my dad is by the rules. He's not going to want you to see a dead body." And he walks in. He's like, "Which one do you want to see?" And so they start opening the drawers and showing her the dead bodies, and one of them, the whole face is missing, but they have a
suicide victim shot in the face,
supposedly suicide, but you find out that it wasn't a suicide because the person was poisoned first and then shot in the face. But the person doesn't have a face, but there's a covering over the face, and there's a bell on the corpse's toe, and she's like, "Why is there a bell? Wrapped around the ankle." And he's like, "Oh, I'm old school. They used to put bells on all the corpses to make sure they were really dead because it was hard to tell between coma victims and if the person was really dead. So they put bells in case somebody woke up."
Again, for all of you screenwriters out there, this script is so tightly constructed. All of this is set up. It's like delicious setup. You're enjoying it. The character interplay is great. The dialogue is great. But it's completely setting up everything in a very economical, beautiful fashion.
Yes, it's very good. So, they're about to leave on their date. Going down the hall, and of course there's an elevator because they have to be able to transport the corpses up and down. And the police chief shows up.
And I have to say, the police chief, even him, he's in the film not a long period of time. Let me give out Michael McClatton as Sheriff Sheldon Burke. Was this movie? I didn't look into this. Was this movie shot in Ireland?
Oh.
If I don't know, because even the outdoor stuff is.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You don't know. It's like in every. They don't tell you where this. Yeah, they don't tell you where it was shot.
That's interesting. I would like to know.
And by the way, the director directed a wonderful movie called Troll Hunter.
Yeah, I read that. I haven't seen that film.
It's great. I have it.
Is he Irish?
He's Norwegian.
Oh, Norwegian.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're Norwegian, Mac. Crazy Swedes. That's from The Thing. Every time someone says they're Norwegian, I can't.
You can't help yourself.
I hear Dr. Copper say they're Norwegian, Mac. I can't help it. Every time you say Norwegian, I hear Dr. Copper. They're Norwegian, Mac. That's all I hear.
Okay.
So there you go. So then, they're going on their date.
They're walking down the hall. The elevator opens, and it's the police chief with Jane Doe. And he wheels Jane Doe, and the dad says, "Come, bring it down here." And the son, what is his name in the movie?
Austin.
Austin is hesitant to leave now because he doesn't want to leave his dad with a bunch of work late at night. Mm-hmm. So he tells his girlfriend, "I'm just going to help my dad. Come back at 11 and we'll go to a late movie, and then we'll go to a bar and have some drinks. So just meet me at 11. And she's
come back at 11.
Yeah, come back at 11. So she's disappointed, but she leaves, and he goes to help his dad with this autopsy. So they wheel her in, and they're kind of upset because normally they would go to the scene to get some information to see like where the body was and, you know, assess. But they didn't get to do that. The cop says he needs this done quickly, overnight, needs to know how this person died, so that he can inform the press, because it's such an unusual...
Yeah, there's already, like, they don't know if it's a serial killing, a murder mystery, suicide, a murder-suicide, right. What's going on? They need to know.
So, he needs the answer by the morning. So they get to work, and... they get to work.
Well, it's a really long sequence.
It is.
The actual autopsy sequence, and it is so beautifully constructed. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I can't say enough about how well it's really hard to direct something in one room. Mm. You know, you're in literally one room. Mm-hmm. And the combination of, like, I don't know how realistic it is, but the way it goes on, the way it develops, and stuff is raw right from the beginning. Yeah. There's crazy shit going on. And
you always think, okay, this is a horror film, like the corpse is going to start moving or something, but she never moves, not an inch.
She never moves in the entire movie.
Nope. And which makes it even more frightening.
And I have to say, one of the great things about what André does, I'm going to say André the director because I don't want to keep mispronouncing. I don't know him, but I'm just going to call him André because he's awesome. A for awesome. A for André.
Awesome.
They shoot her a lot like this. They keep cutting back to this really creepy angle. It's face. It's like this God's eye angle that it isn't the point of view of either one of the characters. It is a God's eye. It's a subjective, it's an objective point of view. And every time they cut to her, not a twitch.
Not like a twitch.
I don't know if it's a still frame or because that's really hard to do because a still frame even digitally you can tell it's a still frame.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had a still frame and they just added grain to it. I don't know what they did or if it's just her performance. But my God,
it's her performance.
And she's got these cloudy contact lenses in.
Her eyes are clouded over. And she's like really pale, and she's just this beautiful face.
Yeah, and as a directorial flourish, it's great to keep repeating it because, in a way, you as the audience are feeling sympathy for her.
Right, this young girl
who's very beautiful, and like what happened to her, and as the father and son start working on her, they feel sympathy too. Mm-hmm. Like you can see the way Emil Hirsch steals glances, not lasciviously, but he's like, what happened to this poor girl? Like, it's tragic.
Well, he doesn't even want to watch when his dad sees if she was raped. He like kind of looks away. He hands him the kit and he looks away, and then he sits in the corner because he doesn't want to,
But as they move on, they find...
So they start off just, observing her outer body, and there are no bruises, no nothing, but they find that her ankles and her wrists are broken. And the son is like, how can that be? There are no bruises. And the dad always finds like, well, maybe I've seen that before. Like he starts saying that about all the things that they start finding, but the things they start finding get stranger and stranger, like almost impossible. Like, how could that happen? So once they get inside of her, like her organs are charred and stabbed and scarred, every single one of her organs. And how could this be when her body was completely like flawless?
They find like she swallowed some kind of a piece of fabric.
Yeah, so when they open up her stomach and pull the stuff out, first they pull out a flower. and they figure out that it was a poisonous flower that creates immobilizes her, paralyzes her. And they also discover that this flower only grows in the Northeast. And then they pull out this little bundle of fabric, and they open it up, and there's a tooth in there. And then they put it on the light table, and there's writing on the piece of fabric.
You know, like a pentagram.
Yeah, it looks like some satanic.
Yeah, it is straight up. I mean, any horror film fan knows, okay, we're into like The Devil Rides Out.
Yeah.
We're into Devil's Reign. We're into satanic, Satan worshipping.
And those are the movies that scare me the most.
But, oh, I know. Look, as everyone knows, give me any satanic. I love that. But what's great is you've got these two men of science.
Yes.
You know, and they're trying to figure out using forensic investigation and
the dad keeps trying to stay rational about it.
Right.
Oh, there's an explanation for all this, but the son is like, highly suspicious.
No, and as it moves along, I mean, and this again, it's just a brilliant the way. I mean, you're literally, it's so interesting, and the tension. Yeah. It just is pulled taut. It's so well done. It's so well constructed, and
it is.
It's so interesting because every little thing they discover, and they don't flinch. I mean, you're seeing them pull apart skin and cut into organs, and then while this is going on, a storm starts rolling in.
Yeah.
Or does it?
They turn on the radio, and of course, like initially, it's just music. Oh, and you hear an announcer say, and it's sunny and blah, blah, blah. But then as they're starting to do the autopsy, the radio just comes on, and this creepy Let the Sun Shine In song, which I used to sing at church.
And not from the musical Hair.
No.
Let the sun shine.
No, not that one.
Yeah, not that one. A different one.
Yeah. It's a Sunday
school.
It's a Sunday school song.
Like an old song.
It is.
It's an old standard.
Okay, so that comes onto the radio, and they look at each other like, okay, and he changes the station, not even thinking about it, because they think it's the storm, like making the electricity.
And you can hear the storm. There's literally a storm out there.
Yeah, and then you hear the announcer on the radio saying, like, this is getting bad. There's flash floods, and as they proceed with the autopsy, the announcer starts like saying, "You're not going to get away from this," or something creepy like that.
No, it's really creepy.
Yeah. And before they started the autopsy, their cat brought in a dead rat. Stanley. And he's kind of
I'd like to think he's named after Stanley Kubrick. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick loved cats. The cat's name is Stanley.
This is a grumpy cat.
Stanley. It's got to be. It's Stanley Kubrick. The cat's Stanley Kubrick. I just want to say it right now. I don't know if that's the case, André, but it's your homage to Stanley Kubrick. I know it. You know it. I see you.
I see you. You're funny. Okay, so yeah.
Well, I mean, then it's hard to like. You'd have to take.
Okay.
It's just this long unfolding.
Right. But when you get to a certain point where the electricity starts coming on and off, and actually the electricity goes. Oh no! Did they find Stanley before? Okay, so they hear rumbling in the and they go and find, and the son goes and finds that Stanley has been murdered.
Yeah, the cat they straight up kill Stanley Kubrick.
The Stanley gets, like, he's not even quite dead. He pulls him out of the ducts.
Well, it's not just that, shenanigans start happening. Things.
Yeah, weird stuff.
I mean, like the
her blood starts dripping out of the fridge, creepy stuff.
I mean, it is a litany of, and it's beautifully constructed. It sucks you in, and
it does, and it's very slow until you get to the point where the electricity all goes off, and the lights
explode.
The glass on the lights explodes, and falls down on them. The lights go out. And shit starts getting freaky.
I mean, it's like every awesome horror trope. You've got You've got corpses reanimating. Everything that you could
'cause
possibly.
Once they pull out a flashlight, he's flashing the light around, and all the doors of the where they store the bodies are open.
I mean, we're talking straight up Reanimator climax. All of the corpses are coming out of the freezer.
This is much scarier than Reanimator.
Well, no, it is, but I'm just saying that's at the end of Reanimator, all the corpses come out of the
all the corpses are gone.
I mean, it's just so.
And they have a hard time finding each other, and there's glass everywhere. And at that point, the dad is like, "Let's get the fuck out."
Yeah, he actually, Brian Cox, the man of science, finally says, "Let's get the fuck out of here." And then it becomes an Aliens-esque, relentless roller coaster of horror.
Yeah, they can't get out. All the exits are like not functioning.
And then Emil Hirsch's poor little Emma, comes back.
Emma? Oh.
And they don't. I mean, there's corpses chasing.
Yeah, when you hear the bell ringing.
Yeah, the bell on the corpse.
Coming down
the corpse.
Hall.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so frightening.
No, and this is one of these. This is definitely.
And when the dad gets attacked in the bathroom.
I mean, yeah, it's so great. I mean,
I have to look around the room at that point. I'm like, okay, I'm in my bedroom. I'm in everything.
I know, you're like going, it's only a movie. It's only a movie. It's only a movie.
Bedroom. And poor Gilbert. Poor Gilbert was freaking out.
Yeah, you gotta explain. This is definitely. This is if Gilbert he doesn't drink wine, so he doesn't have a bottoms up scale. But on the Gilbert scale, of let's say 1 to 10. On the Gilbert scale, when he watches a horror film, Gilbert is so empathetic that he can feel your fright more.
He feels my fear.
This movie was 10 on the Gilbert scale.
Yeah, he was
because Gilbert
panting.
was freaking out. He was panting. He was like here, like
panting,
and he watches.
And he
watches.
Up and yeah, he was seriously freaking out.
Gilbert was freaked out. I was kind of feel bad because you were freaked out.
I felt bad for Gilbert. I was like, I thought he was gonna have a heart attack.
I mean, this is like the 4th time we watched this movie together.
Yes.
And normally we like to show it to people, but I mean, even I've seen this movie so many times. I just marvel at the craft of it.
It scares me every time.
The way it's directed, the way the camera moves. I mean, it's so precise.
Yeah.
In its conception, and again, you're just in this. And once you even get out of the autopsy room, there's this it's just this creepy. It's like Jane Gumm's house in Silence of the Lambs.
The long hallway. It's just. And then that mirror that shows you what's around the corner.
Oh, there's so many. He does so many things. Like, yeah, they got the mirror so you can see what's around the corner in case somebody's pushing a gurney down, and you see clearly that there's a figure in the hallway. And Emil Hirsch, that's a great scene. And the camera it's a beautifully directed and edited piece of business, where he kind of peeks around and they do a number of cuts, like cut back and forth, and it's really awesome. I mean, from an editorial standpoint, I marvel at this movie because. If you're going to make a low-budget horror film, and you've got basically a single location,
yeah,
and you're going to blow your budget. Say you're going to have $3 million to make a movie. Maybe this is more, but it's favored nations. You pay Brian Cox and Emil Hirsch $500,000 each, and you spend the rest of the $2 million to make this movie, and it might have been more. I don't know, but for a low-budget film, this movie is a tour de force of how to make a horror film. It really is. And every time I watch it, I want to get on my knees and go, I'm not worthy, because it's so beautifully shot, edited, acted.
Word to use for a horror film, but this is like a classy. It's not like cheesy. It's like, to me, I feel like this is a classy horror film.
Well, no, it is.
There's no cheese.
There's no cheese, but it's straight up. It's about an ancient witch, who apparently has been passed down from place to place, and she wreaks havoc since the 16th century because they
figure that out by reading the shroud.
I mean, as far as witch movies go, I mean, I interviewed the directors of The Wretched on Robservations. That's a good witch movie.
I haven't seen that.
But to me, this one, I mean, The Witch, Black Phillip. But in terms of a straight up witch, like this might be the greatest cinematic witch of all time. This is
a pretty amazing.
And she never moves.
She never moves.
I mean, she's this beautiful naked chick with bush.
Yeah, they show everything. Yeah,
like Patrick Stewart would say, you could see everything.
Well, they go back in there and they peel off her skin, and there's like this satanic stuff written all on the underneath side of her skin.
Yeah, like how did that happen?
Yeah, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so at this point, like they just want to get rid of the body because it's, causing all these things to happen. So they try to set it on. Well, first they try to take it to the crematorium and burn her, but they can't because the corpses are in the hallway and won't let them out of the room. So they
The reanimated corpses.
Yeah.
And which, by the way, what's really interesting about that is they don't linger on it. Like you don't really ever see full body shots. They're always in shadow, or you see like they'll look through a peephole and you see like a mouth going. And,
it's the sewn mouth and the sewn. Oh my god!
It's just
so
amazing.
Creepy.
It's amazing.
Okay, so then they try to burn it, and the fire just goes under the ceiling.
They're trying to burn her on the autopsy table.
Yeah. He poured gasoline all over her, and the dad lit the match, and the flames go up to the ceiling, and they think the whole room's gonna burn down, so they try to like extinguish it, and then the fire goes out, and she is perfectly fine.
Not a burn mark on her.
Nope.
And I think what's so effective about this movie, I mean, there's a lot of modern horror films that I think are classic and near classic, and this is one of them. Movies like The Ritual, the guys in Europe, their friend died and they're going on that into the woods.
Have I seen that?
Yeah, we watched it together. The Witch, Robert Eggers, The Witch, The Invitation, not a supernatural film, but The Invitation. There's a lot of brilliant, lower budget, modern horror films, peak verisimilitude, where they work because you absolutely believe in what's going on. I mean, there's no optical shots. It's all practical. There's no histrionics like CGI.
Right.
It's the reason like Paranormal Activity worked.
I didn't really see that.
Well, the first one, it's just a door opens. Just a door opens. You set up a bedroom. You set up a video camera in your bedroom when you're asleep.
That stuff freaks me out.
And then that's why that movie works. It's everyone's worst nightmare. The monster, the whatever, is in your fucking bedroom.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is show a door opening while you're sleeping and the video camera's capturing what's going on. Everyone loses their shit because peak verisimilitude. Keep that in mind, horror filmmakers. That's what makes things work. Which is different than the other horror films we've been watching, like Nightmare on Elm Street or Phantasm, which rely on unbelievable, fantastical...
I mean, there are moments that are scary in those films, but it's not like you're tense the entire time.
No, and part of that reason is because you are firmly in the real world.
Yeah.
And when the supernatural bleeds into the real world, and especially when you're in a place of rationality, the ultimate place of rationality, which is an autopsy room.
Right.
And even the way it's directed, like in a less talented director might use a lot more camera flourishes and move the camera around, shaky camera, whatever.
No.
This movie is the shots are composed.
There were a lot of close-ups, which I thought were just really makes it even more like frightening.
It's beautifully composed. They don't rely on camera trickery or editorial tricks or using sound to create jump scares. A lot of the time they'll use sound in place. The jump scares won't be earned, but the sound makes you jump anyway.
Yes.
Not in this movie.
No.
This movie does not cheat by using sound design to make you jump.
Yeah, there's no cheating.
No, this movie creeps you the fuck out, and it comes at you, and then it grabs your fucking heart and twists and goes, "Be scared, motherfucker!" And you are.
Yes, you are.
You are. This movie is a masterclass in how to do that.
Yes.
I still think James Wan is the Alfred Hitchcock of the jump scare. James Wan is.
I mean, I love the Insidious movies.
Insidious and Conjuring.
I love Conjuring. I even loved, what was the other one? Oculus? Did he do that one?
I don't think he did that. Maybe. I don't think so. Mirrors? Was it Mirrors?
The doll one.
Annabelle. Annabelle Creation.
I even love that.
Yeah,
I love those movies.
Yeah, no, they're good. But James Wan is still the master of the jump scare. But this movie, the jump scare is a particular fright. But this movie creates an overall sense of just dread. It's so interesting. Like when you're watching it, it just gets you, and you know.
Yeah, and tying it into like
Beware.
the burning of the witches in New England.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've been to Salem, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, but as they say in this movie, they're like, none of that really happened.
Well, no, I mean,
but
they tell you the truth. Like, these girls were burnt alive, and they were innocent, and so they're trying to figure out, well, if this girl was innocent, what happened to her? And so they explain that they theorize that, she was so tortured by these rituals that it turned her into the very thing that they were trying to get rid of.
Yes.
And she is still suffering after like hundreds of years.
Which, by the way, is a great origin story for a witch.
Yes.
They tortured this girl, and their actual torturing turned her
into what they feared.
So it wasn't the supernatural; it was the cruelty of man.
It was the cruelty of
man that crossed over into the supernatural realm.
She's been suffering ever since, still suffering from this ritual that they did to her, and now she wants revenge. So everywhere she goes, she
wreaks havoc. And there's a point at the peak of the shenanigans, the supernatural shenanigans that are happening, where Brian Cox says, "I want to help you. Let me ease your pain. What can I do to help you?" And then suddenly, his bones, where her bones were cracked, his ankles are cracked, his arms are cracked,
his lungs fill up with smoke.
Yeah, and like she's taking his straight
and
up
then
like
her wounds are like mending as he's taking on her
but
pain.
Even that, there's no like glow, there's no it's done again.
And she doesn't move. It's just her wounds are
peak verisimilitude, which makes it even creepier.
Yeah.
I have such admiration for this film. Can you tell?
I think that you kind of like it.
I just admire. I always talk about authorship. Like, what was the intent of André? Like, when he wanted to direct this movie, when he read the script, like, I want to find out about. I love this film so much because
it's
so accomplished, and it's 87 minutes long.
It's the perfect length.
It gets in and gets out. It's just such a beautifully structured, beautifully made movie.
Yeah.
Beautifully acted. Everything about this movie is first rate, and this movie required talent. And there's talent across the board. Everybody was cooking with gas. They were firing on all cylinders.
It's true.
So why do you think this movie scares you so much? What gets under your skin about this movie?
Okay, first of all, it feels very real, and secondly, it freaks me out. The whole devil witch stuff already freaks me out.
Because this is like, it's a myth, but this movie makes you believe.
Yeah.
This movie makes you believe in the supernatural.
They did burn these girls. They did like
sure.
accuse girls of being witches.
But
that actually happened.
But I think what's so great, this movie turns everybody into Brian Cox, a skeptical man of science. Who it finally says, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm a man of science, but let's get the fuck out of here. I am out of my element. Let's go.
Yes.
And I think it does that to all of us. We live in a world, a skeptical world now where we've seen every horror movie, we've seen all the tropes, but this movie, even like, okay, kid, what do you got? Show me what you got. And this movie will turn even the most, I think, well, unless you're just a curmudgeon and a douche,
I read some douchey reviews. I was like, really? You obviously didn't get this film.
Well, the problem is, what happens is, I think in the modern day, like the way we're waxing rhapsodic about this movie, there'll be people that haven't seen the movie going, "Oh, come on, how good can it be?" And look, you have to be the kind of person though that will give yourself over to these things.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, if you're gonna
go into a movie with that attitude, of course you're gonna get what you put in. I mean,
that's exactly right. Like Luke in the cave at Dagobah.
Yeah.
What's in there? Only what you take with you.
Exactly.
That's the truth. That is the truth about every horror film. If you're somebody who's not
every film, period.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right.
I mean, if you go in with a bad attitude, that's what you're gonna get out of it.
Right.
So, if you want to be scared, then go in with an open mind.
Yes. Open your heart.
But not too open.
Open your heart.
Because you don't want Jane Doe to, like, seek her revenge on you.
But so like again, I have to ask you, like what are some of the things, like you touched on some of the elements, but your psychological makeup, like when you think about things like in your everyday life, what else scares you? Like what are you like you said the devil and all that, but are there certain situations, like as a mother, did you ever think to yourself, oh, that poor girl, like I wonder what her parents would think? Is there any that, like did you have empathy for the dead girl on the slab? Like there's this
well, yeah, before you find out that she,
well, yeah,
or even after, because like, okay,
it wasn't her fault.
This girl, but yeah, I mean, she was tortured, so I mean, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
You're gonna seek revenge.
Well, yeah, and it's almost gotten to the point where she's like a machine.
I felt bad for the boy, the guy. What's his name? Austin
Emil Hirsch.
Yeah, because like, okay, he's there to help his dad, and then all this stuff happens, and then his dad dies, and then and his girlfriend dies.
And remember, his mother died 2 years before. His mother died, and she killed herself.
Yeah.
She killed. I mean, this movie exists.
Poor guy, and then he goes. If he thinks like it's all over, and he hears the police chief trying to get him out. And he's trying to get out, and then the police chief starts, or who he thinks is the police, starts singing that creepy song, and he turns around, and his dad is standing right
his dad I mean, this movie...
And he falls off the steps, and he dies.
Like all great horror films, die. This movie is a nasty... This movie... What I always say that the universe is indifferent to your suffering.
Yeah.
This movie is uncompromising. The horror in this film, it makes you like these people and care about them.
Right.
And then it's going to say, nope. As good as these people are, you know what? The sins of the past, doesn't matter how good you are. If you came from a society that victimized people, it has a lot to say about our current situation. 400 years ago, let's say, the past will come back and fuck you unless you make amends.
And these were innocent people.
And that's what makes it even better.
But so they like shove this body, all over the place, and everywhere she goes, she just destroys. And at the end, the police chief realizes this, and he's like, "Send that body out of my county."
Right. Whatever's going on. I mean, I love this film. I think this movie is a classic of the genre. I think 20 years from now, because it's basically timeless.
Yeah.
The clothes are nondescript. There's no. You see a few automobiles in the beginning and the end. And then, at the end, it does have... The one thing about this movie that I forgive it for is the very end.
Yeah.
The very end, when you hear the song. Her song coming through the radio, and you hear the ding-a-ling of the bell.
Yeah, the bell when she moves her toe.
You know what?
Didn't need to be there.
I forgive it for that. Because...
I did too, but that was not necessary. First of all, she did not move an inch the entire film.
I know, that's why it's like it's like that actress was like, let me give you a little... It's almost like an improv that the director kept in there. I think it's okay because you know what? It basically tells the audience, as any good horror movie these days does, Autopsy of Jane Doe 2. I mean, and what's great about it is, if any movie deserves a sequel, this movie, I mean, same girl. Although, she's aging.
I don't know. I would leave this as a 1.
I know. I mean, it's not like it was
Why would you mess
It didn't shatter the box office.
With something that's so good.
When's that's ever stopped anybody?
I know.
They made Jaws 3D and Jaws for the Revenge. It's not like someone said, it's not like Michael Caine said, well, perhaps we shouldn't make this movie, Jaws for the Revenge. I mean, Lorraine Gary didn't go, you know what, I'm not going to be in Jaws for the Revenge, because why should I be? No.
Yeah, well, anyway.
People got to get paid.
Hopefully, I mean, if they do make a sequel.
They made Highlander 2 The Quickening. Everybody said okay to that. Even Sean Connery, and he died in the first movie. No one's got integrity, got to get paid. Connery got to eat. Zed got to eat, babe.
Well, Zed, you know how I feel about my Zed.
That's why Highlander 2 got made.
I still need, yes. I mean, Sean Connery, he's my man. Oh!
I thought I was your man.
You're my man.
Okay, just checking.
You're my man.
That's a Wham song. I'm your man.
Okay. Where were we?
Well, I don't know. We should see what other people are saying. What do you guys think? So as people know, that you can now become a member of this channel, which is still kind of freaking me out. But
Freaking you out.
yeah, Christian 301-291 became a member. Claude Hibbert, Claude, one half of our
Yes.
the first couple, the official couple of the Burnettwork. By the way, for those of you who might be new here, we are having a Zoom Halloween party.
Yes.
On
Did
the
you
afternoon.
Put out the poster?
No, I haven't done that yet. A Zoom Halloween party on the 24th of October on a Saturday.
Yep.
After a week before Halloween, because we don't want to interfere with anyone's Halloween plans. So it'll be at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
And it's a costume party.
It's free of charge. Anybody can come. However, you have to be wearing a costume, like you said. But, it's Zoom, so it's, from here up.
You could be wearing pajama pants.
If you're not wearing a costume, you don't get in. You don't get in.
You don't get in.
I'm just saying that.
Oh, we just don't let them in.
That's right. You're going to be in the waiting room forever. We're never going to let you into the party. I'm just telling you that right now. Don't be one of those people that steps up and doesn't have a costume and be like, but I'm a fan of the channel. If you were a fan of the channel, you would have worn a costume. That's all I'm saying.
Put on a fake mustache.
Hey, we'll accept that. Julius Goodwin. Julius, how are you? Let's drink to Julius. Julius Goodwin is the official sommelier of this channel.
Yeah, and we missed the
we missed a delivery he sent us today. To get into the spirit of romance, sir, I would ask that you indulge me and serenade Miss Elizabeth with a part of the Major General's song. Ahem, ahem. Here is a first-rate opportunity to get married with impunity and indulge in the felicity of unbound domesticity. You shall quickly be personified, conjugally matrimonified, by a doctor of divinity who is located in this vicinity. Well, all right. As Julius Goodwin knows, I once starred as Major General Stanley in a production of The Pirates of Penzance at Island Park Elementary School on Mercer Island, Washington. So, I was in the 5th grade. I am the very pattern of a modern major general of information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England, and I quote the fights historical, from Marathon to Waterloo, in order categorical. That's all you get, all right? That's all you get.
And you remember that from 5th grade?
Yes. About binomial theorems, I'm teeming with a lot of news with many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. Yes.
That song was one on one of the VeggieTales CDs that my kids had.
Well, there you go. So, Julius, thanks for making me sing. I'm proud to be your trained monkey. And I thank you for being the official sommelier of the channel. Trey from Max World Entertainment sent in a super chat. Good evening. Nicole and I's favorite YouTube couple. Sending our love your way. And whoa, RMB's hair is getting long.
Right?
Unite the 7 plus Yojimbo and Nathan Algren. For those of you who wonder what that... So I've been working on the Robservatory, making some changes. I busted out the toys. Let's see, can you... Yeah, just turn that way. So as you can see, I don't know why, my Alfrex collection of the 7 Samurai are there, plus Toshiro Mifune as Yojimbo, so technically he's there twice. And then I've got George Lucas in the back, directing the scene, and then Nathan Algren, Tom Cruise is Nathan Algren from The Last Samurai. Now, a lot of you might ask me, well, Rob, do you have Ogami Aito from Lone Wolf and Cub that was also made by Alfrex and his son Daigoro?
Is that what people are asking?
They are asking. They're asking right now. And I'm telling you, yes, I do. And I just didn't want to, I wanted to keep this open up. Like, I get accused of bunching up my figures. I spent an hour putting those up, and I figure I got the perfect display exactly the way I want it. Pose them all up with their swords and their weapons.
I really want to pick one up.
No, don't, please. It'll freak me out. And Macworld Entertainment became a member of the channel. Well, thank you, Trey. Max World. And by the way, you should all go check out Max World's Entertainment channel too, which is good. Timbula the Spider Monkey. Tim is here. I'm introducing a friend to a bunch of horror movies they haven't seen before. This is scheduled for next week. I can't wait to see what they think. Last night we watched The Mothman Prophecies. The Mothman Prophecies is really good.
I haven't seen that.
I liked it more than I remembered. What did you think of it? I really like The Mothman Prophecies a lot. It's really gear. It's really gear. It's really good. It's really gear. Richard Gere. It's good. I thoroughly enjoy it. Justin Tonner's here. Hi, guys. I watched this movie last night with the Richard and others on Zoom, and I loved it. It creeped me the fuck out big time. I can't wait to recommend this to others. By the way, the actress playing Jane Doe used yoga to be able to play dead so well.
Wow.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's really interesting. That would be Olwen Kelly as Jane Doe. And by the way, that brings up the fact that the Richard, who is one of our chief moderators, the impresarios here at the Burnettwork, throws Zoom parties and shows movies, at least when we tell him what's up, rather than sell them out.
Good, like we were this month, we made a schedule.
Yeah, we made a schedule. You can go and participate in Zoom parties and watch the films that we're showing.
Yep.
So I'm glad that Justin was able to first experience this film at a Zoom party.
Right.
The Richard said the Zoom party was really, really fun. Med6814 sends in a super chat and says, "What are the three figures between you and Elizabeth in the middle shelf unit?" John Lennon.
Can I pick him up?
Okay, he's really heavy. And no, don't pick him off. Don't take him. Come on.
Come on.
No, don't.
You didn't even let me unbox him.
No, don't take him off. Don't take him off. Come on.
I'm not. What am I? I'm not doing anything.
All right.
Just chill out.
I'm scared.
Look, this is John Lennon.
Love me do.
This is an amazing figure because he has a metal skeleton.
Yes, and there's a metal endoskeleton.
Heavy.
Oh, it's super heavy.
And he's magnetic.
Now I have to say that the company that made this is the only figure they made, Molecule 8.
This is the most amazing figure.
They were completely scandalized because they didn't pay their artists, but
the detail, I got it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, well then, since people asked, here's this. Just be careful.
Oh, you're letting me hold it?
Yeah,
I don't even know what this is.
Carl Urban. This is a bootleg figure. Carl Urban is Judge Dredd. It's not an officially licensed figure. Oops. Didn't mean to get it. Yes, I did. Carl Urban, the star of The Boys, who plays Butcher in The Boys.
Doesn't look like him.
That's him. Yes, it does. He's playing a character.
What?
Yeah, it's Butcher. And then this. Oops. Uh-oh.
I got him.
Jack Bauer. This is an Enter Bay figure from Hong Kong. Keanu Reeves as Jack Bauer in 24.
Keanu Reeves.
Pardon me. Did I say Keanu Reeves?
Yes.
Pardon me. I was looking at my Matrix figure.
Oh my God, that is not Keanu
This is Kiefer
Reeves.
Sutherland. Sorry. Although I do have a couple of Keanu Reeves figures, so I don't know why I said that.
He was never in 24.
No, Kiefer Sutherland is Anyway, so there you go.
Careful.
I know.
Look, they're bumping elbows.
I know. I gotta. Well, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change. I have the Sylvester Stallone, a beautiful Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd figure. I'm gonna put them together because I'm gonna do a shelf here with figures. So there's be figures on either side.
Can I choose the figures that go on the shelves?
Well, maybe.
One shelf, two shelves.
Come on. Well, we're not gonna. This is the only shelves. We've got to free all the toys.
This one.
No. There's gonna be no shelf. There are no figures there. Books stay there.
But there are figures.
I know. There's Godzilla, and Ozymandias. Anyway, we have a letter. A letter comes in from Cardinal Sin, Gil Bavel. Cardinal Sin writes in and says, "I have a question that either you and or your viewing audience might be able to answer. When I was a kid, this would be sometime in the 1970s, I saw a snippet of a horror movie in which a couple are walking to a mausoleum and they go inside. As they descend a staircase, maybe a spiral one, I don't remember, the music of someone strumming open piano strings hit me, and I became scared just from the music. I've never been able to place the scene or find out what movie it's from. Any help? Thanks, Gil. Well, I throw it out to you, imagination connoisseurs, you, members of the Post-Geek Singularity. What do you think? I don't know. The only movie, I would say there's actually a movie called Mausoleum.
Is there a scene like that?
I don't remember. I haven't seen Mausoleum in quite a long time, so, yeah, I don't remember.
I wouldn't know.
Well,
Maybe somebody will come up with it.
Perhaps. A guy in the chat, Anthony Choice, says, when Rob gets a 360 cam, he should do an entire level of shelves around the entire room of just figures.
Well, he has 3 glass cases that should house a good portion of, well, maybe a third.
Not even a third.
Not even. Okay, a quarter.
Not even a quarter.
An eighth.
Maybe an eighth. Maybe. I probably have, as far as 12-inch figures go, I probably have 300.
Those are the big ones.
12 scale figure. 6 scale.
Oh, you said 12.
12 scale figures. I don't like.
Those are the little ones.
Yeah, those are half size.
You have those?
I don't collect 12. I have a few.
So you're saying 6th scale?
Yeah, 6 scale figures.
You
yeah.
said 12.
I know. I said at first, but then I corrected myself.
Cool. I want to open free the toys.
Well, we will. We'll free the toys on a show. But we're doing a new show where you're gonna free the toys. We're gonna do that on fully articulated.
Hashtag
free the toys. Yeah. You know what you can free first?
What?
I've got a really good toy for you to free.
What is it?
The Hulkbuster.
Is that the new one that just came?
The Hulkbuster.
Is that what just came?
Did it come?
Yeah, something came last week.
How do you know? Because
the box said Hot Toys.
I don't know, man. Come on, man. I don't know. What can I tell you? I have lots of Hot Toys boxes.
Yeah. What's our next movie?
Anyway, what is our next movie? Okay, our next movie is...
That's tomorrow.
Rosemary's Baby. La 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 la. Rosemary's Baby is actually one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's good.
Of all time. We should watch it tonight.
We have to.
Yeah, let's watch it tonight. La la la. Yeah, we're gonna watch Rosemary's Baby. I love Rosemary's Baby.
It's okay. We can interrupt my.
Actually, we should tell. So Monday, tomorrow night, Rosemary's Baby. Wednesday night is Let the Right One In, and next week is The Hunger. But didn't we replace it with American Werewolf in London?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So Rosemary's Baby, Let the Right One In, and An American Werewolf in London is this coming. So tomorrow night, if you guys haven't seen Rosemary's Baby, don't mean maybe.
Who hasn't seen it?
Look, a lot of people haven't.
Really?
Yeah, because it's 68.
Yeah, but it's.
By the way, can I just tell you? Last night, out of the blue, director. I can say this. I'll mention this. Mike Dougherty, the director of Godzilla King of the Monsters and Trick or Treat, co-writer of X-Men 2, he contacted me out of the blue, and he just to chat, and we had a long conversation about Rosemary's Baby, and he says it's one of his favorite movies, and he watches it all the time, and I told him, funny story about Rosemary's Baby. So when Mark Altman and I made Free Enterprise back in 98, 99, Rosemary's Baby played in L.A. at midnights 4 weeks at the Sunset 5 on Sunset Boulevard. We went all 4 weekends. We saw it 4 times in a row. He had never seen it. And then after he saw it, he goes, this movie is incredible. And it's not incredible like the Autopsy of Jane Doe, but in terms of what it is. And again, it's about...
see, somebody hasn't seen it.
Oh, then never... What? Come on, man. Look, it's an old movie. It's 1968, you know, and it's... I just love it because of what it is. I mean, it's brilliantly done. John Cassavetes, Mia Farrow. It's Maurice Evans, Dr. Zaius from Planet of the Apes movies. It's just great. Now, when I say it's great, it requires patience and understanding. You know, it's not like The Empire Strikes Back or this movie.
Right.
So, you know. So that's what, you know, what can you do? Well, I guess, you know, like the movie itself, we're over time.
All right. Well, then let's rate it.
Yeah, what? Oh, so we have our bottoms up scale, Ace. What is our bottoms up scale?
Our bottoms up scale is from 1 to 4 glasses because there are 4 glasses of wine in a bottle.
4 glasses of wine in a bottle.
Yes.
And how many glasses of wine, what would you give this movie?
I love this movie.
I know.
I want to give it 4 glasses of wine.
Well, then you should.
I'm going to give it 4 glasses of wine.
You know what? I, too, give the Autopsy of Jane Doe 4 glasses of wine. I think this film is terrific. I think it represents the best of low-budget modern horror. I love its collision of science and supernatural.
Yes.
And I love that supernatural trumps science.
Yes.
I think that's great. And you know what? Really, this movie is about a woman who got Me Too'd 400 years ago, and she's getting a little payback. So I kind of like that. I think that's kind of cool. Down with the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Just kidding about that. I guess it would make down with me. But hey, what are you going to do? So cheers to this movie.
Cheers.
So tomorrow night, we're going to watch Rosemary's Baby. So join us. Ooh, I get 2 bottles of wine, like consecutively. All right. I want to thank everybody. We have a lot of new subscribers coming in, but I also want to point out and tell everyone that we still have running on the channel until December 1st, the first annual Intergalactic Imagination Connoisseurs Film Festival. And you can enter anything you want, any kind of film that you want, until December 1st. We will be dropping new films. I don't know. I know we've got a couple more in. Maybe there'll be a world premiere tomorrow, but I premiere new films. Every entry that comes in, you make it, you pay your entry fee, you get in. I will debut your film on the channel at noon. There's always debuts at noon Pacific time. And we're still voting on the poster competition. So if you go to the website at the Burnettwork, TheBurnettWRK.net, you can vote on the poster contest. There's 60 entries that we have, and you can vote on your favorite poster. We're giving out the award for that. We're going to announce the winner on October 15th. You can vote once a day and come back each day and vote for your favorite. So that's happening. And hey, if you've ever wanted to make a movie, you've got 45 days to do it. There's already a number of great entries up on the Burnettwork, and check them out. And hopefully we had an animated entry today. Well, at least the trailer for one. So it's pretty exciting. No one's ever done an Intergalactic Imagination Connoisseurs Film Festival. It's intergalactic because it's the very first film festival ever held on Earth that is open to extraterrestrial entries. Now, we haven't got any yet, but we're hoping we might. Now, I understand there's a language barrier and there is an entry fee, and perhaps any extraterrestrials haven't figured out how to use PayPal yet, or there's a language barrier, which I'm happy to deal with, but I'm really hoping that we do get an extraterrestrial entry. It is an intergalactic film festival after all. Throg is here. Not Throg, master of his domain, not just Throg. It's amazing. Throg says, "What did I miss?" Well, Throg, you know what? I did not talk about the unbelievable box of toilet paper you had sent to this house the other day, and I want to thank you for that. Throg has made sure
in
that
a giant Santa sack.
in a giant Santa sack. It was great. People like what? What a non sequitur. Throg, during the outbreak of the pandemic in California, you could not get toilet paper.
Right.
And if it wasn't for Throg somehow he was sitting on a stockpile. I don't know why.
No, but like he's supplied our toilet paper for months.
For like the better part of a year.
Almost a year.
And I had made a comment about how we were running out, and he let's drink to Throg. You know what? I've never sort of equated one man with my anus, but Throg, I will. He's certainly kept the bungholios clean here in this household. Let me tell you, it's a billion.
And there are a lot of us living here.
Come on, that's a Beavis and Butthead reference. Bungholio. They're bringing Beavis and Butthead back.
Are they really?
They are. Yeah.
Wow. That's from when I was in high school.
Well, okay. I guess we're going to bring an end to this this episode of Liz Views. Episode 84 of Whining About Movies. Our Halloween march through horror continues. We're going to jump back to 1968 and Roman Polanski's seminal adaptation of Ira Levin's novel of Rosemary's Baby, starring John Cassavetes and Mia Farrow.
Yep.
And the great Ruth Gordon. And Charles Grodin as her turncoat doctor. Shh. Anyway, why don't you take us out?
Everyone you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do
is listen. And with that, what do we say?
Have a better night.
Have a better night. Thanks very much for joining us. Join us tomorrow,
See you tomorrow.
where we discuss Rosemary's Baby. La 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 la. That's the haunting theme from Rosemary's Baby, which you will see if you watch it. La 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 la.